Howdy, it's Matt. Now, I am just going to record this all in one go on the iPad, so just be aware the audio quality is not fantastic and the video quality is probably not so fantastic. Anyway, a quick update for you on the Nano Talon. So, as you can see, I've got lids off and bits here. She is pretty much ready to go. Now, there's a couple of things which I've learned and I want to share those with you. The first thing is actually a little bit disappointing, if I'm going to be blatantly honest. The black parts on this model are EPP foam. That's definitely for sure EPP foam. It bounces back when you squeeze it. However, the white part of this model, so all the white foam, that is for sure, I'm pretty much sure on that, that's EPO foam. It feels like EPO foam, whereas this is definitely EPP foam. So I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And again, if I'm wrong, I'll update the video description afterwards. So that's the first thing which I've discovered. The next thing which I've been and discovered is that I don't really need to be, and you don't really need to be worried about the ESC cooking. And the reason why you don't need to be worried is because, well, I've got the power meter out, and on full knacker, it does 10.3 amps. Full knacker with the 6030 prop, the plug and fly kit, on a 3S battery, 10.3 amps, and that does include, I hasten to add, the video transmitter and the receiver as well, and of course the FPV camera as well. So yeah, pulls 10 amps, so it's not going to be the fastest little monkey in the arsenal, and I definitely will be changing that motor. But for the Maiden, we will stick to the plug and play settings which we've got. The next thing which I'm going to quickly note is that in the nose, I have been and put the Runcam Mini Swift up there in the nose, and now I have wired up a hub OSD board. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Very simple board, so it gives you an idea on current usage and battery usage and a flight timer. Yeah, really, really simple. I do like those boards, and I had one spare here, so it took me 10 minutes to wire it up. So, hey ho, it is what it is, and I will be definitely changing this out for iNav. Anyway, with that said, the stabilizer on the top is a bit of a weird one because it doesn't actually work until you give it some throttle. That's caught me out a couple of times here when I've been playing with it. So with that said, the propeller is on, and I've got the video transmitter on. So as far as the transmitter setup, I've been and got channel number 1 is throttle, channel number 2 is ailerons, channel number 3 is the elevator. Remember, there is no rudder in here. And the other channel, I've set up a three-way switch on the side of the transmitter. Now, there are 3 different flight modes for the stabilizer, and they will make more sense in just a few moments' time. So let's go and get her powered up.
Telemetry recovered.
There we go. As you can tell, I've calibrated the ESC. Right, I've left it still, and we've now got a blue light on the board. So let me just push this around so you can see. You'll see there's a little blue light on the top of there. And you notice I'm moving it side to side, and it's not doing anything. Now, if I give it some throttle, you'll then notice, he says, there we go. Right, I've just been to put some throttle on, and I have to go careful with that prop, but you'll see me moving the surfaces. There we go, and we move up and then down. This stabilizer is now working. Now, if I put it into the middle, so that was the lowest position, if I put it into the middle, is that it's not moving at all. Whereas in stabilised mode, you'll see it's quite responsive. There we go. And then we move the nose down, the elevator's coming up, pull back, and the elevators are going down, and then right, and then left. The stabilised mode is working. Now, the curiosity is, when you're in the bottom switch mode, when you put the throttle on, I don't know if you can see this, can you see the back elevator fins, they come up? So in the down position, that is launch mode. So when you launch it, it puts them up in it for you. I think that's pretty cool. The middle switch is off. Literally off. Yeah, there's no stabilization at all. And then if you put it in the top mode, then that's stabilized mode as well without the launch aid. So yeah, when you've got it right down, when you've got this 3 position switch down the bottom, that's launch mode. It will, when you throttle up, it will put some elevator in there for you, and it will give you stabilized mode. The middle of your 3-way switch, that's completely off, and then in the up position is stabilized, and that's the mode which you would probably want to fly around in the for the most of the time. And I'm here checking it, and if I move the wings to the right, we can see that this one's coming up and that one's going down. That means that it's going to correct itself back to the middle. So yeah, actually I will be maiden this one with the stabilizer enabled because it is working. It's just a little bit odd, and I'm sure when you get yours you'll get into the same position. Oh Matt, the stabilizer's not working, and aha, you do need to give it a tiny little bit of throttle and then everything starts working, so look out for that one. Besides that, really simple setup. What I'm going to do in my video transmitter, I'm just going to Velcro it on the lid right now until we do work out something more permanent for it. And also for the receiver, if I go and power this one down a mo, the receiver,
Telemetry lost.
thank you lass, the receiver I've been mounted up underneath there, just seemed like the best place for it, and to keep and I've just sellotape the wires out of the way, put some sellotape on the bottom, I've put some sellotape on the leading edges as well just to protect them. And as far as CG goes, is that you'll see that I've only got a 1.3 3S battery in there, and it's about an inch away from the inside, and I stick the lid on and I'll find the other middle bit, and again they're all roughly in the right position, is that will balance on the CG point underneath. So only a 1.3 3S. Obviously, I'm already thinking that I'm going to go and stick a 1250 kV an X2216 1250 kV motor on the back, the same as the full-size Talon. I'm already thinking I'm going to stick one of those on the back end. And with that said, that does mean that we could run more battery up the front. The one reservation which I've got with that is not actually the wing loading, is the amount of torque which is going to be put on that little motor mount. So I can see people at a later date, what they'll be doing is either making 3D printing or maybe putting sellotape around this rear section of the fuselage to stop the torque. So if you're really hard on the sticks, which sometimes I can be, is that you might rip the motor out of the foam. So I can see a mod being made later on of a plastic, maybe a 3D printed cone, which sits over the back of this to maybe tame that down or stop that from happening. Anyway, besides that, super impressed. I really do like this little model, and I'm also actually kind of chuffed that it will just fly around on a 1.3S battery, because I've got shed loads of them, and you can get it to balance up with 2200 3S. You've just got to stuff it back a little bit, to say the least. Now, one thing which I would say is that if you're setting yours up, if you stick an HD camera on the front, do go really careful on that CG, because it is going to end up flying really quite nose heavy. Anyway, it's Maiden Day tomorrow. She's ready to go. I'm really looking forward to it. So for myself, Matt, thank you very much, ever so much for taking the time to watch this video. Any questions about the Nano Talon, please just ask in the comments section underneath this video. Again, keep in the back of your mind, I did buy this model out of my own money, and if you've got any questions about it, you're going to get very honest answers. So with that said, I'm going to nip round that side of the iPad and hit the stop button. So on that note, cheerios!